Having worked at a bank for over 5 years, it was always very interesting to see what most people spent their money on. And naturally, being a more frugal person myself, I wanted to share some of the common shopping trends that I absolutely refuse to spend my money on. Shopping at expensive grocery stores. One thing that I really prioritize and invest a lot of money into is my diet. But that doesn't mean that I have to shop at fancy places to be able to get high quality food. For example, let's just look at a gallon of organic whole milk. Well, at Whole Foods, we're looking at $8.79. If you go to Walmart, their kind of equivalent is going to be $6.98. And if you go to my local grocery store or HEB, you're getting it for $6.22. Another example would be strawberries. A full pound of organic strawberries with Whole Foods is $7.69. If we go to Walmart, for example, again, we're looking at $4.92. And if we go to my local grocery store, we're going to get actually 2 pounds on discount for $5. And for our last example, let's look at a pound of organic ground beef. We're going to be spending $8.99 at Whole Foods. And if we go to Walmart, you can actually get a leaner cut for $6.76. And the equivalent at the local grocery store or HEB is going to be $7.27. Just for those 3 items at Whole Foods, we're going to be spending $25.47. Walmart, we're going to be spending $18.66. At local grocery store or HEB, we're going to be spending $18.82, but we do get an extra pound of strawberries. I just can't find it within myself to be purchasing groceries at a place that is so much more expensive for the exact same quality when I can get it somewhere else. Just this with 3 items, we're looking at like a $4 or $5 difference. If we do a week's worth of groceries, we're looking at $20, $30, $40, $50, $60, $70 in savings just by shopping at another place a little bit down the road. And if we do this times 4 for what we're spending on groceries in a month, we're talking about hundreds of dollars of saving, still getting high quality food, just at a different place. Convenient use items. One of the most common things that I saw that people were spending money on was what I call convenient use items. This would be like going and getting a water bottle, or snacks at a vending machine, or a soda, or what are those little things that like hold hand sanitizer? I'm not judging, but it's just a lot about these little things that really begin to aggregate on top of each other. Now, if we look at Gain's laundry detergent, you can get a 60 count of pods for $16.58. But if you look at its equivalent, just in liquid version, you're getting 190 loads for $13.49. Another great example is snacks. If we look at a 1 ounce multi-pack of goldfish, we're getting 30 of them for $13.37. But if we look at a full box, still 30 ounces, we're getting it for $8.28 each. And then if we wanted to splurge, we could get just some sort of generic sandwich bag for $2.16 for 100 count. That's going to give you 2 pennies a bag, or you can spend about $11 on reusable Ziploc bags. Or pre-cut vegetables. To just have carrots sliced, you're getting it for $6.22 for 14 ounces. Now, if we go to an actual bag, we're getting a 12 ounce for $2, but you can buy a full bag of whole organic carrots for $2.23. Not to mention, this is 2 pounds of carrots. Or practically just any item on like a YouTube short that someone says, you need to buy this. I really believe that cheap gadgets or convenient use items are a huge issue on the overconsumption that's happening with society.
Cherry toilet bowl scrubber. When I saw it, I immediately had to have it.
Cheap main use items. One of the aspects that I absolutely prioritize with frugal living is to always make the investment into multi-year items, or items I know I'm going to be using almost every single day for many years. My laptop is a great example. I knew that the laptop was going to be expensive. However, I knew that it was going to save me a bunch of money from having to get multiple different laptops in the time in which this one was going to last. I knew that if I cheaped out on something that was going to fill needs that I absolutely needed, well, then it was just going to cost me more in the long term. My shoes are also a great example. I've had both of these pairs of Ultra Boosts for over 5 years. I had always wanted them, and I actually waited until the newer brand came out or the newer style. So these ones went on discount, and then there was like a Labor Day sale or whatever. So I was able to get both pairs of shoes for the price of one pair of Ultra Boosts, and I still have them 5 years later. I found that whenever I got exactly what it is that I wanted, and I didn't cut any corners, it allowed me to be able to not really want items later. It kind of just made me feel like I was very content with exactly what I had. Now, this doesn't mean that you have to buy quality products at high prices. I always try to find ways that I can get my clothes at warehouse sales, thrift stores, trade the clothes I have in for newer, higher quality clothes, to get my gadgets or my gear and all of that stuff refurbished. I always try to find creative ways in which I can get the highest quality item that fits my exact need, but isn't going to cost a bunch of extra money. Replacing damaged items that still work. Now, one thing I always like to ask myself is, what is an item's intended purpose? Take my shoes, for example. For me personally, my shoes are just intended to get me from A to B. Now, I have a bunch of holes starting to form in most of my shoes. So I ask myself, is it affecting its overall purpose? And the answer is no. It's still providing value in the way in which I need it to provide value, to get me from A to B. So I don't even think about it. I just continuously move on. Another great example would be my water bottle. Well, its intended purpose is to just hold water and keep it cool. So all of the paint and dents on it, it just doesn't bother me because it's not affecting its intended purpose. So why go get another one? I think society really paints us a picture of anytime we have something that's damaged or scratched or not working as good as it once was, well, we need to get the newest item because the newest item is so much better anyway. It just makes sense to upgrade. I personally find that even though something is a little bit affected or a little bit damaged, I'm still able to use it for so much longer. Yeah, my battery doesn't hold charge for as long, but I just won't use my phone as much. And I kind of try to find creative ways to always make sure that I'm still using the item in the best way that I possibly can. Societally appointed norms. In many ways, I've always felt like the odd man out, or like I didn't belong. Whenever I worked at the bank, I never went out and had happy hour with them. I didn't go buy my lunch. I had the least nice car. And in many ways, I absolutely got judged for that. But I always found that within myself, as long as I stay aligned with what it is that I believe, I don't care what the cost is going to be societally. I'm someone that does not like to drink. I don't drink at all. The very first time I even drank was actually graduation night or graduating high school. I had a brewski, took my first sip, was like, I don't like this. So I started crossing my hands, holding it, and we were outside on the porch, and I was pouring it over the guardrail. So everyone was like, man, he's hammering them down. I wasn't. I was pouring them all out. So the plants were just getting hammered back there.
Why is it spicy?
But when you actually financially look at these things, unless you love going out and drinking, or you love doing these things with your friend, and you genuinely feel like it's in alignment with who you are, it's costing a ton of money. Research shows that if you drink 1 glass of wine a day, it's going to cost you about $1,400 a year. If you have 2 glasses a day, and this is within the dietary guideline for men, you're going to be spending around $2,900 annually. But if you consume a $20 bottle of wine daily, that's $607 a month, or $7,280 a year. With the average person spending about $640 a month just on nights out. And I have always gotten made fun of for the car that I drive, but I've never had to spend money on a car payment. The average monthly car loan payment in the United States is $738 a month for new vehicles, or $532 a month for used ones. And I mention this not to judge or to say the way in which I do it is better than anybody else's. This is simply just to show that I have gotten a lot of flack for not doing these social norms. But it saves me a tremendous amount of money and allows me to prioritize exactly what it is that I want to do in my life. This is what I believe is the main essence of frugal living, is about aligning your financial journey and discovering exactly what is enough and being able to reallocate your funds to exactly what provides value in your life. I think that At the end of the day, that is what matters the most. So I hope that you were able to get some sort of value from this video. I found that the diagrams or showing the pictures of how much little items were costing at the grocery store, I thought that was really interesting. So I hope that you guys enjoyed that. Thank you so much for your time. I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye-bye. And to parallel this, that would be like those dryer sheets. I can't believe how expensive those things are. I actually don't even know what they do. So either dry your clothes quicker or they make it flavored or whatever. What we personally do is we just do unflavored, unscented laundry detergent. My gear shift is another thing I've talked about numerous times on this channel, in that I'm not able to change gears unless I actually pull on the cord manually. Well, can I still drive? Yeah, I can still drive. Is it dangerous? Not necessarily. That sounds so bad.